As I was getting ready to be with you all in my morning, I was thinking again about what a resource our attention is. And it's one that we often don't give any value to and or we take for granted. But our attention is a major gift, both to us, but also to other people. And where I'm choosing to put my attention, whether I'm using it to be with something, whether I'm using it to distract myself, really has so much to do with the ongoing quality of life that we experience, but also the quality of presencing ourselves and being able to connect with others. So I want to invite you into some of the fundamentals about the way that we use our attention and see which of them feel the juiciest to you that you could take into your practice this week. One of the fundamentals of loop of awareness is being able to actually shift your attention. And I find that of tremendous value right now, especially because our attention is being captured by all of the dramatic things that are going on right now, both in our civil society, for those of you who live in the US, but I think it's going on, pretty much in many, many countries right now, the whole sense of inequality, which when I look at it is also a function of attention, is what we give attention to and what we value with our attention and what we use our attention to dismiss. So I want to invite you into using your attention, first of all, just simply to be able to shift it. And so I'd like you to notice, where are you putting your attention right now? Just noticing that. So you're going to kind of go into witness. So you're both giving your attention, but you're also witnessing the way that you're giving your attention. Most of the time, people's attention gets stuck. It either gets stuck in, and then I can't go around, I'm kind of in a gerbil wheel inside myself, or it gets stuck out like, oh wow, look what's going on. So I'd like you to simply, even as you're listening to me, can you give attention to your feet? Just simply giving attention, letting your attention rest on your feet. And then I'd like you to give attention to something that is close by to you, not far away, but just something around you, and giving your attention and actually letting it land, as if you were going to go and look directly at it, or you were going to go and put your foot on it, that you're contacting it. So notice the difference in how you are using your attention to contact. Are you actually being with? Do you flit like a butterfly? So bring your attention to something else going on in your body, like your breathing. And how are you giving your attention? And then give your attention to something that's a little bit further away in the room or in the space where you are. And notice how you're giving your attention. So there's the actual how, and then in a moment we're going to play with the qualities of how you're using your attention. So now I'd like you to just play with giving attention to you and giving attention to around you. So you're letting it, sort of like your own little ping pong game, where you're letting it go, and then you're letting it come back, and you're letting it go, and you're letting it come back. And I'm noticing with that sometimes I hold my breath when I'm shifting my attention. So let yourself notice, am I breathing while I'm looping? And you can add that in. And so if you're not breathing, just simply add in breathing. And then also play with the speed, that you can do faster and slower. Some of you are using your body. That's great. So you can use your imagination and or you can use your body. So you can be looping out and looping back in and looping out, slower and faster. And then we can add in narrowing and widening. So when I'm going narrowing, I'm letting my attention go out to the bud of an orchid plant that's over here on the desk, and I'm landing on that, sort of a laser. And then you can let it go wide, like the fan that we sometimes use, letting it just include the whole area. You can also fan inside. So when you're giving your attention inside, you can fan through, you can move through your body rather than pinpoint. Because see, most of us are used to giving ourselves attention for what's wrong. And what's wrong has that kind of pointy, narrow. So just for a second, just go pointy, narrow, like, okay, out there, what's wrong out there? And what's wrong in here? And notice how that squishes your attention. And then let yourself expand with, there are a couple of intentions for your attention that I'd like you to try on. And the first one is sensitive awareness. I'd like you to let your attention go out with a kind of the can be very useful. The because so much we use our attention, we're caught in a what's wrong, which doesn't allow for that welcoming with your attention. Your attention itself can be a love scoop. So as you're giving sensitive awareness, what I like to think of is my cat. When she's wanting attention, she comes up to me with this kind of a move. She's kind of like, she's doing an ooze, a fear melter ooze. So let your attention go out with a kind of a and an ooze. And then let it come back into you with a and an ooze. Because the shift from what's wrong to curious is so valuable. The and simply being with. Because very often we're caught in what can I do? What should I do? What did I do wrong? Rather than simply being with. So I'd like you to let your attention shift back and forth with that but also with that sense of you're kind of sliding up beside something as if you were sitting next to somebody who's maybe, feeling scared or upset, and you're just going to sit next to them, touching them and being with them. Let that kind of, here I am. Send that out into something, even something that you can't see. You can send that out to all of the people right now who are experiencing this upset of all of the injustice that we're waking up to right now. You can be with them. And then let your attention come back to you and notice any place inside that you're having difficulty just being with. Something that's going on in you that you're not yet letting yourself really be fully with. And simply be there. I'm noticing that the is really valuable. Helps me settle, feeling a reverberation. So I'd like you to let yourself play with different varieties of the because moves you from critical brain to curious brain. So you can add in looping around yourself and looping around what's going on in your world or the world, and then looping back to you. It's kind of like a giant hula hoop where you're letting your travel around the hula hoop. It's including you. You're sending it out anywhere where you're drawn to let that, your attention include what's going on. And I'm noticing as I do that, that I'm feeling more expanded inside. I'm feeling my breath get wider. So particularly noticing that you can let your awareness move in so many different directions. Mostly we have it be linear. So I was just thinking about imagining your attention like an abstract painting, and that you're sending out all kinds of different color into the world, and splotches of color like your own Jackson Pollock. And then you're sending color back into you and putting a little pink or some bright purple and letting that spread out into you. So there are all kinds of qualities that you can add to your attention, including let your attention move out into the world and back into you in some completely new way. Just try on something brand new that you haven't tried before. Excellent. And notice how that impacts your experience of your presence. And as we're going into love scoops, I'd like you to imagine that your feet are in water. And I'd like it to be, it can be a stream that you know. It could be stepping into a river. It could be standing on the edge of the ocean or a lake and letting the water come and surround your feet. And I'd like you to let that water, we're mostly water, I'd like you to let that water be love and attention and awareness and being with. And I'd like you to let it move up through you and let your love scoops come from the inside, from that being connected through your feet to the water and feeling that scooping and connecting, and then also scooping and sending out. So letting it come up through you, scooping it up through you, and letting it out into the world, sending that to anybody that you know or that you don't know that you want to send a wave of love to. So you're filling your own reservoir, and then you're letting it out into the world. And I find the more that I let my body play and my sound play, the more fully I experience both being able to shift my attention and being able to include. So take one more big scoop where you're making sure that it moves all the way through you, like don't forget your armpits, and letting it move out into the world in a way that feels the most delightful to you, including as much or as little of your body as you wish. And remembering too, I sometimes forget that I can let it come out through the top of my head. So you can let yourself be a little benign fireworks that goes, you can be a fountain for your whole neighborhood, letting the spray come up and through you and out into the world. And I invite you to let yourself practice shifting, humming, love scooping, regularly, just for a little bit throughout the day and throughout the week, to bring yourself into the experience of love and presence that we all are. So thank you. And we'll unmute everybody so that you can make sounds and love scoops to others before we end for today.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.